Hey guys, and welcome back to Regrets It, Brexit Britain, a country who decided it no longer needed to listen to experts, and Britain decided to go rock climbing with no ropes. Just like hang on by their like fingernails. That's got to be Brexit. And also, guys, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all of your messages. And a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. So, with Azim Rafiq. You know, here's the thing, right? Black and Asian people are like, okay. why, why are you guys still pretending like you didn't know that this was the case? Why listen, you know what? Yeah, there's so much pretense in this country, right? The problem is not in cricket, it's not in football, it's not in banking, it's not in government. The problem is just in society. Racism is a societal problem, right? And all of these institutions, yeah, are just made up of people in society. So that's why in the police force you're going to have in the police service, right, you're going to have plenty of racist police officers. You're going to have plenty of racist medics, right? And I mean the truth is, right, until Brexit, right, I never knew how many Labour supporters was so fucking racist. Right? I never knew how much of you was so motherfucking racist, right? Especially you ones who smashed the red wall, right? Never knew. Do you know what I mean? I'll be straight with you. I'm telling you, I never knew, right? So if had I went to like a Labour, a Labour conference or something like that, right, I would be standing next to people, right, that have got completely different views, right? And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, yeah, I'm supporting a party, yeah, where we haven't got people, right, who are just out and out disgusting racists, but unfortunately, everywhere's infected. Right. So I see Rafik, right? You know, as if to say, this is stuff we didn't know. We know all of this already. All of this is all known. It's nothing new, right? There's people today. There's people today still using the p word and not. You know what I mean? And just looking at it, so, well, I use it, innit? Right? It's nothing new, right? It's now, yeah, you might get one or two people start calling it out, but you know it's it's it's, it's never going to go away. This is the problem. It's never going to go away. So, I mean, it's always going to be there. Whether it's in cricket, whether it's in football, whether it's in policing, whether it's in the NHS, it doesn't really matter. Just a reflection. It's just a reflection of society. Yeah, that is who we are. Well, you are, not me, right? Because me, right? Because a lot of people, yeah, even me, right? I get called a racist on a regular basis. Can you believe that? Which I just like, something, right? Because I believe, yeah, in a world with no borders, right? Which means that, yeah, I think that all humans should just be mixed up as one, right? So I don't really business, right? What color you are, what race you are, what religion you are, doesn't really bother me. I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I'm not, because I'm not interested. But that makes me look like a horrible person, right? But I'm just seriously, I'm not. I don't, my next door neighbour. I don't care about my next door neighbour. I mean, if there was whether they was disabled, whether they was Turkish. Do you know what I mean? Whether they was, what I mean? They could even be Scottish, right? For me, right? So what? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because I'll come over and I'll have a plate of haggis with you, or do you have haggis in a bowl? I don't know, right? Yeah, right. I'd even try, yeah, uh, um, a deep fried Mars bar. Sounds disgusting, but I'll still try it. Yeah, for me, it doesn't really matter, right? Because as I said, I believe in a world with no borders, right? So if anybody, right, who is anybody, right, says to me that I'm a racist, I said, well, do you also believe in a world with no borders? Because I do. Right? That means that even you, right, the person who's calling me a racist, even you are welcome in my world. Even you. Right? But I know for a fact, yeah, I'm not really welcome in your world. See? So there it is, isn't it? So so as Imran because he's revealed a lot of stuff, and people are gasping all over the place, yeah. But a lot of these, yeah, the same people who are booing the footballers when they're taking the knee. So you think to yourself, seriously, right? You're having discussions, right, on footballers taking the knee, and you're calling them Marxists, and they're like, oh, they're Marxists. That's why they're taking the knee, because they're Marxists and they want to defund the police. You think, okay, so the Queen wants to defund the police? Oh no, we can't go on that one, because you know what? If you've noticed, yeah, from ever since, yeah, the Queen came out in support of Black Lives Matter, a lot of these people have shut their mouth about Black Lives Matter. They just keep their mouth shut about it. Right? Now, right? They say, but calling the football players Marxists and think to yourself, what? The multi-million-pound footballers are Marxists. Yeah, I could probably see it with Marcus Rashford. Do you know what I mean? This guy, he wants to feed everybody. He wants everybody to have he wants everyone to have a full stomach. So I could see, I can see the Marxism right there. Because he wants to go around and feed all the hungry school children. You know. So yeah, so we have the discussion on, they're still having the discussion on taking the knee. Big, massive discussion, do you know what I mean? And then they're gasping when Asim Rafiq comes out and says, yo, you know what, yeah, I was racially abused when I was playing professional cricket. As if we didn't know that already. So, you voted for Boris Johnson, right? And the UK inflation, right, has hit the highest level in 10 years. Do you know, I'd like to say, yeah, that I'm shocked and I'm surprised, but I'm actually not. See, in this Boris Johnson's premiership, right, nothing, absolutely nothing, right, has surprised me, right, because I've always known of the incompetence of Boris Johnson, how incompetent Boris Johnson is. Boris Johnson, yeah, is probably one of the world's most incompetent politicians ever. Everything, yeah, everything that man touches, right? It doesn't even turn to lead, because lead is it's worth, like, probably lead is about £1,000 a ton, right? So it doesn't even turn to lead what Boris Johnson touches. Just ask, Nazadim Regari Ratcliffe of Boris Johnson's exploits, right? Or ask Jennifer O'Keefe, right? Or his ex-wife, right? Just ask any of these people of Boris Johnson's exploits, and they would all of them would tell you, right, that Boris Johnson was never ever fit, right, to be a politician, let alone the Prime Minister. That's why inflation is at the highest it's ever been. Because Boris Johnson's a complete idiot. Right? When you put a complete idiot in charge of a country, right, what was you expecting to happen? Was you expecting him to all of a sudden become a completely competent person? I knew he couldn't. There's no way he could. It's impossible. You can't be this incompetent your whole life, and then all of a sudden, right, you get the top job, and all of a sudden you become, you become like, excellent. It was never gonna happen. Boris Johnson was always going to do this much damage to this country. He was always going to do this much damage. Right now he's out. Right now, yeah, he's completely out of control right now. Right, because now, right, he's like a cannon, right, just out of control. He's just firing in all directions. Right, firing at the enemy, it's firing at the people who are trying to fight, who was firing it in the first place, it's firing at everybody. because the problem is he doesn't know what he's doing. Right? You know, the whole Owen Patterson thing shows you that he has no clue what he's doing. No clue at all what he's doing. None at all. Right? This is the reason why things have gone so far out of control now. Things are completely out of control for him. Completely out of control. Right? Because in the first place, right, there's always a reaction, right, to what you do. Right? And the reaction to what Boris Johnson attempted to do, right, has turned around on him. It's turned around on him really badly now. You know, it's because it's turned. We can say, right, it's come around and it's bitten him right in the backside. Because now, right, you know, I can't. You know, I think his days are coming very, very close to being numbered because he's in a lot of problems right now. He's in a lot of problems, right? Because as Keir Starmer was giving his speech yesterday, yeah, about MPs second jobs, right? Because Labour's wanting to cut this out for time, right? So and every time the Tories will say to you, oh well, they'll tell you about Labour politicians that are doctors or you've got one politician that's an author, right? And all these type and they'll to try and mix up all those type of things. Right, Keir Starmer took £100,000 doing I don't know what I have no clue what it was he was doing, but he took £100,000, right? But that might be the £100,000 might be in all the time he's been in politics, right? Now the problem what Boris Johnson's facing now, yeah, is that he's already marched these guys in, right, to try and save Owen Patterson, right, and a lot of them didn't want to do it. They was bullied. That's another story. How people politicians who have been voted by the people, right, can be bullied. Right, it's another story. Right, but you see, Boris Johnson's problem right now, right, is that he marched them in, right, to go and do that nonsense. Right, then he had to take that shit back, right, and it's all blown up, right, in the media. Boris Johnson is very, some will say he's media savvy. I would say he's media led, right. So because Boris Johnson is media led, right, now, right, while Keir Starmer was giving his speech, right, about the same MP's second jobs, right, Boris Johnson sent a statement, right, to the leader of the House. Right, sorry, to the speaker, right, to say that he now wants reform. Right, basically the same thing that Keir Starmer was saying. Boris Johnson's just jumped on it, right. So he's gone from, right, trying to reform it so he could fix it for his own purposes, right, to now, right, because what's going on in the media, to now saying, I want to get rid of second jobs, right. But obviously there's going to be caveats in there, right, because he's going to try and water it down. Right, but right, you're talking about a lot of Tory MPs who are going to be fucking pissed. I mean, these guys are going to be absolutely pissed, right? Because remember, right, a lot of them, right, are taking, right, a hell of a lot more money than they're getting as an MP. Right? Even though their MP's package, their package is worth like around £500,000. Right? Because I just love the way I love the way how they do it, and they say, oh well, their actual wages is 82 grand, right? When you can throw the 23 grand straight on top of there that they get for rent. You can throw that straight on there, so that immediately puts them well over £100,000, right? That they're taking home themselves, right? So as I said, their package is worth £500,000, right? But a lot of them are making a hell of a lot more money, right, from these jobs what they got on the side, right? And that is going to piss them off if they now are forced to vote, right? Well, we'll see how they vote this time. We'll see how much of them rebel out and say, you know what, no, we're not voting for that. We want to keep our second jobs. We think, yeah, we believe, yeah, that it enriches the Houses of Parliament, right, to have us doing second jobs, That's how these guys sell it to us. They're like, no, 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 it enriches. So, well, hold on a minute. But what about the 37,000 or the 60,000 people, yeah, that live in your district? Who looks after them? Right? Because for me, that seems like that's probably like a 24-hour a day job. Right? If you've got like you've got over 30,000 people that you're looking after, right? That doesn't really sound like you would have much time, right, to be doing any other jobs. If you're honest, because I'm quite sure, yeah, that all the time, right, one of your constituents needs your help. I'm quite sure about that. There's no way with that amount of people, right? Because if you had put it this way, if you had 30,000 houses, right, I guarantee you, right, every day, right, that there'll be a few of them that need maintenance every day. That's a guarantee, right? So there's no way you can have like constituents of 30,000 or over, right, and and you can be in the Caribbean. It's just impossible. Right? So this second job thing is gonna, this is gonna do for Boris Johnson, because these guys are gonna be seriously pissed. Because imagine that, well, imagine if someone said to you, well, we're going to take away you can't do your second job anymore. We know that if we've got second jobs, yeah, we're not going to be getting the eye-watering amounts of money like these guys get. Right? But say you're doing a little Uber or something like that on the side on the weekends from your normal job, right? And you're making like, say you're making like £400 on the weekend in your little Uber job, right? And then they say, no, can't do it no more. How pissed would you be? Because now they'll take away that £400 from you. So how pissed would you be? Exactly. You see? So that's why these guys are going to be seriously pissed. They're going to be seriously pissed about it. And you see, especially someone like Michael Gove, right? Because it looks like Michael Gove, yeah. It looks like there's around £160 million, right, worth of Tori PPE contracts, yeah, that Michael Gove has got his filthy, right, steamed up glasses all over. Right? Just unbelievable. You see, this is the thing. These guys, they took full advantage, right, of taking, I don't know how they come to the figure of 37 bill, right, which they knew that, this is the amount that we can just get rid of amongst our friends and our family. There's people out there, yeah, who have made like, one guy made 16 million. That's his profit. That's not, because the actual, the actual contract what he got would have been for over 120 million. So his profit in that for himself was like 16 million. Right? Others have made millions in the 20 millions. 20 million, imagine that. Right? Some people have done so well out of the pandemic. A lot of these people, yeah, have supplied PPE, right, that wasn't even useful. Supplied it to us. Not even useful. There you go. Right. So they could, right, just say to these people, well, look, you know what, you've had all this money off us, you've given us a load of useless PPE, give us back our money. Take back your PPE. Yeah. That's what they could do. Right? But I bet the contracts, right, was just all loaded in favour of their friends and their family who got those contracts. But this is the rot that you people, right, want to vote for. The rottenness, right? So we got so we got I need to speak about the migrant crisis, because is the Home Office fit for purpose? Almost is not fit for purpose. Almost hasn't been fit for purpose for the longest of time, right? But don't blame the Home Office, yeah, for what you voted for. You voted for Brexit, so you voted for this migrant crisis. You should have seen it coming, because I did. I knew exactly what was going to happen, right? Once you voted, there was always going to be boat people, because you know what? We've pissed the French off, and the French now have no allegiance to us. Okay, so that's the reason why, right? And when you see people, right, coming over in fucking kayaks, right, and they're saying to you, oh, well, you know something, no, these are gang, these are people send them over in gangs. Yeah, no one comes over, right, from, no one pays someone in a gang, right, to get on a fucking kayak. That's just ridiculous, right? I see guys coming over on a fucking kayak, right? So, so there's no, like, gangs, right, doing that nonsense. It's all just a load of crap what these people are talking. Just a load of complete bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Priti Patel never ever had a handle on any of this, right? Because you know what, right? She's a useless racist fool. Okay, and all she was ever about is just big words. Because let me tell you, right? You're talking about human beings with brains, right? You're not speaking about seaweed, right? You're speaking about human beings, right? How the hell are you going to stop humans from doing what they want to do? How are you going to stop them? Tell me, how are you going to stop them, right? If you could stop humans from doing what they wanted to do, right, our prisons would not be full up. They'd be empty, right? They'd need prisoners if you could stop people from doing what they wanted to do, right? Unless people, you get people, right, who are going to deal with the problem in a decent way. This is always going to be a crisis for this country, always. Okay, always. And let's speak about some Brexit quickly, right? Post Brexit immigration rules, right, mean that children, right, can't go on holidays in the EU. Makes it much harder for them to go on their school trips in the EU. Do you know what I mean? You know when we say, yeah, that what you Brexiters have done here, you've taken away the future for the children of this country, right? And you know what really annoys me is when you hear old people say, oh, well, I voted for my children's future, I voted Brexit for their future. You're a fucking arse. That's what you are. You're a big idiot, right? Because that was stupid, right? Our children had much more of a future, right, being in the EU, right, having access to 27 other countries like that. That gives them much more of a future. Right? You've given them no future. Right? You've left them a desolate country, right, that's scraping around at the bottom now, right? That's falling, right? It's in free fall, right, from one of the highest mountains in the world, right? And it's just waiting to hit the fucking ground. Right? Because we're lucky that we're so far away because we're still in free fall, just dropping, right? Like that fucking stone that just never ever hits the fucking ground, right? This right is just completely ridiculous what you people have done, right? Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You've taken away, right, the the future of the children in this country. Can't go on this, find it difficult to go on their school trips. Those skiing trips they used to go on, and these type of things. The day trips to the gay day trips to Gay Paris, right, and all these type of things, right? Just like you should look in the mirror. You should look in the mirror, right, and think about what the fuck you've done. Okay? Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm GMC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.